Rachel with Design Therapy. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad to have you today. On this channel, I show you how to create a home you love on a budget, whether it be designer and trendy items that you like, or if it's more of a traditional look that you're going for. I will show you different ways that you are able to create that look on a budget, on a realistic budget as well. What I will be showing you today is how to transform a vase that you maybe have laying around the house or a vase that you go to Goodwill and pick up. I'm going to show you how to create a pure salt lookalike. A lot of designers have been showing the olive jar and it's been trendy. You can get it at Home Goods, but some of it can be really pricey. I'll put a picture up here of what I'm talking about. And so I thought it would be really fun to just DIY it. We're going to use some air clay. We're going to make that as the handles, and then we are going to let it sit and then go from there and be able to paint it. And I love how it turned out, so I can't wait to show. Put a picture up. So this jar I got from Goodwill, and I picked this one up because I love the texture of it and the vertical lines throughout the bottom of it. I thought this closely resembled the pure salt found olive jar that I was going for. I love the lip of it, and I just had to pick it up. It was around $6, so overall very inexpensive, and I again loved how it represented the pure salt lookalike that I am going for. To roughen up the glass and to add texture and grit for the clay handles to stick to, I went ahead and just used a sanding block, and buffed it up around to give it some texture. You can also use some spray paint. I've done that in the past, just spray painted it black to give it extra texture as well, but this time I just tried to use the sanding block. The clay that I will be using for this project is Crayola clay from Walmart, and it's the air dry clay. Very inexpensive, it's around $5. So all in all, with this project, with the vase that I got and the paint, it was around $12. So in my opinion, totally affordable compared to the pure salt designer vase that we could pick up for $190. It looks fairly close, and I just love how it turned out. So with the air clay, I've never done this before, so I was really excited to use this and see how it worked. And I went ahead and just rolled the clay together into 2 round balls, and I tried to closely make them around the same size just so that the handles were roughly the same size. And when you add water to the clay, it makes it more of a smooth material as well. So that is a trick. And so I just rolled it into around the same size. And if it's not exactly the same size, that's okay. Because if you think about it, if you would go and order 2 pure salt vases, both of them would turn out a little different, and that's the point of them. They kind of resemble that organic look. Then I rolled them out into more of a rope-like shape or snake-like, however you want to say it, roughly around the same width and length again. And then to place them on the jar, I used a little bit of water, and I put a little bit of water on the glass and then a little bit of water on the rounded part that I will be placing onto the jar, and went ahead and held that for around 20 seconds or so, give or take. And then I went ahead and let it dry for a few days, up to 48 hours, just to make sure that it was hard and that it was standing and it was all dried out. I will say, when I started to go paint this, both the handles fell off. So what I ended up doing was go ahead and hot glue them together, and it did work out fine. But learn from my mistake moving forward, just go ahead and either hot glue them, or you can go ahead and use more grit to make sure that it sticks. So it worked out, but had a little mishap as well. So I went ahead and hot glued them, and again, it worked out just as fine. And then in order to achieve that terracotta color for the bottom of the jar, I used paint in the color khaki and a classic orange color. I mixed them together to get the look I was going for. You can also use brown and a little bit of red as well if you don't have those two colors on hand, and it can also resemble the terracotta color pretty closely. I then added baking soda to the mix, and that really gives it the texture of the terracotta and where it truly starts to resemble the feel. I went ahead and covered it around on 3/4 of the vase, all the way up to around the handles, and I could have went ahead and did it all the way up to the jar lid as well if I wanted to. In some spots I didn't get it perfect, I might have went all the way up, but overall I went to around 3/4 of it. And as you can see in the picture, it goes up about 3/4 of it, and then the green starts there. So that is why I went up to there. I used around 2 to 3 coats to achieve that realistic look I was going for, to make sure it was all covered and the glass wasn't showing through it all. And then as I let this dry for a few hours or so, I came back and started with the green color. And I used the color Arbor Green. And this is just in the regular craft paint at Walmart. Very affordable, but I thought this resembled closely the color I was going for the pure salt lookalike. And so I loved how the green and the terracotta colors that we mixed together really look like the olive jar. I went ahead and did it all the way to where the terracotta color meets, and part of the handle, as you can see, is green, and then some of that terracotta look as well. To get more of the glossy look, I didn't add baking soda to the green because in the picture it is more of a smooth color with the green, so I wanted to resemble that, and then underneath where the terracotta color starts peeking through is more of that texture look. So that is why I didn't add baking soda to that. And then once that was dry, this is when it really starts coming to life. What we will do is just go ahead and use the two colors, the khaki and the orange color, but we will use a little bit more of the brighter orange to give that brighter color. And then you can use a sponge, or I just used paper towel that I had on hand with a little bit of water. And then I used a little bit of baking soda as well in that mixture, and went ahead and dabbed it on there. And what you want to do is you want to think about how the sun would be coming and hitting the jar. Where the darker spots would be, where there'd be shadows, and where the lighter spots would be, that's where you want to use more of that brighter orange color. And then when we go again in with the khaki color, that will have more of that texture as well, and it will give it dimension and shape and really start coming alive. And have fun with it. It doesn't have to be perfect like the rest of it, but just go ahead and dab it in places, and really you will start to see how it starts taking shape. I also went ahead on the rim and used a little bit more of the color to give it that antique feel and give it more of that rustic look-alike as well. Here is the overview, and I really love how it turned out. Once again, I think that it's so fun that each jar will turn out a little different. And you could also experiment with this if you don't really like the color palette here, even though it does look like the pure salt. If you want to give it a different color scheme that fits more into your home, go ahead and maybe make it more neutral, or maybe make it more of a darker color, more of a rustic color, whatever you're feeling. I think it's really versatile, and you can play around with it and make it to your liking as well.
All right, that wraps up today's video. I hope you really enjoyed it and you got some tips on how to create a vase that you have just sitting around your house, or one you go to Goodwill and get, and create it into a designer lookalike on a budget. Let me know in the comments if you decide to give this a try and how it turns out. I would love to hear from you. If you want to go ahead and like and subscribe, make sure you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. I am excited about the ones to come, and I can't wait to see you. Thank you so much for all your support. Take care now. Bye.